Hello, my name is Ryan Joyce, and this is CW. And today, on this very special episode, we're stepping inside the Center Wellington Multicultural Festival. This is the third annual year. We're going to talk with the event organizers, give some perspective on what's new this year, what you can expect to see. We're going to step inside the museum and get an exclusive look at two very special exhibits taking place. One that's 5 years in the making. Plus, we're going to give you a behind-the-scenes look at some of the performers, some of the performance, some of the marketplace, and so much more. So come with me and let's explore this year's Multicultural Festival.
Choosing your battle, pick yourself up and dust yourself off and back in the saddle. You're on the front line, everyone's watching. You know it's serious, we're getting closer, this isn't over.
Hey, love it.
Feel it, you got it, believe it. When you forget up, you forget up, time, 'cause this is Africa. It's time for Africa. This is the Evoy, this is our motto. Your time to shine, don't wait in line, it happens before. People are raising their expectations. It's time for Africa. It's time for Africa.
Thank you very much. Make your own backing rhythm on the djembe drum. How you can do it, okay? I'm gonna use a song to teach us the ABC of backing rhythm. For example, to do a back
We are here with Enurada, who is the Economic Development Officer for the County of Wellington, and we're here at the third annual Multicultural Festival. Tell us a little bit about what people can expect to see today.
Right. Firstly, thank you so much, Ryan, for having me on the show. So we are bringing back the festival for a third year, and we are super excited because we have a day filled of performances happening on the main stage. We have live activities up front, and then we have lots of exhibits which are on at the National Historic Site, which is the Wellington County Museum and Archives. Food from different parts of the world, and children's activities, as well as a marketplace that we have introduced for the first time this year. So lots happening.
I was going to say, because this is the third annual year, and each and every year you've grown. So what are some of the new aspects this year? Obviously the marketplace. What else would you consider has been a growth this year?
Previously, in the previous years, we have just had a very small group of participants and performers performing at the festival. But this year we have extended beyond the main stage to include the front lawns, the barn, where we have the sensory play area for children, and then we have introduced the marketplace, like I just mentioned. So we have only been extending every year and year on, and third year now we have extended it beyond what we were in the first year.
It's amazing, and let me tell you, for our viewers at home, the weather is amazing. It is just a very brisk 38 degrees, it feels like. But talk to our viewers about what the initial motivation was behind the origins of the festival.
Right. So that's a great question, Ryan. So the reason why we thought of bringing together a multicultural festival is we wanted to create a space where both long-time residents and newer residents moving into the county could come in together, share stories, share culture, and learn from each other. Because, after all, communities are built on human connections, and that's what we wanted to provide that space for, and capture that in this day and this moment. Yeah.
Well, as we're speaking, one of the aspects of the festival behind us is the live performances. Is there any special performers this year that you want to sort of showcase for us? We're going to also get a chance to interview, hopefully, a performer or two. But tell us about some of the showcased performers this year.
Right. So we have had a couple of performances, and a lot of our performers have come back to us. But the new ones that we've had this year is we've had a Vietnamese tea demonstration that has taken place, which taught us, being authentic and being mindful and being present at the moment. And they spoke to us about, what tradition is of the East Asia culture. And then we are also very excited about the Morris dancers, English Morris dancers that have been performing at our festival. And like you can see at the background, we have the Habiba's Egyptian dancers performing on main stage. So those are some of the new things that we've had and we're very excited about. Yeah.
And what are the other unique aspects about this year specifically, and this likely won't happen again, is the collaboration with the museum. Could you talk a little bit about the two exhibits? We're going to hopefully give our viewers a sneak peek inside the museum of the exhibits, but give us a big picture about how this unfolded.
Right. So, Ryan, that's another great question because the fact that we are hosting the Multicultural Festival in the museum ground, which is a National Historic Site, we are trying to connect the past, present, and future. The past tells the rich history and story of people who have moved into the county, and right now we are doing what our current present days looks like in the county, and the museum, we have tied in with the museum, and they have two great exhibits which are on right now, Refuge Canada and Destination Wellington, which talks about long-time residents who moved into the county as well as the newer residents who moved in the last few years. So celebrating the past and present together is nothing like it, and so that's what we are trying to do here. Yeah.
We've heard a lot about it. I hear there's some really great, unique stories in there. So we're looking forward to bringing our viewers a little sneak peek inside. So just one last question for you, forward thinking. What do you hope to see for the festival in the future?
Right. We are still in the third year and we are still learning and we are still growing. So we would love to have as many communities come in and participate in this festival because, like I said, communities are built on human connections. And, when you come to festivals like this and you see someone who has never had cuisine from another part of the world enjoy that cuisine and then dance to the tunes of music that they've never heard before, we want those conversations and those little moments to take place because that is what makes things meaningful and life meaningful, right? So our aim, and every year the goal is to strive to get that together for the community. Yeah.
That's amazing vision for the future, and we're going to do just that. Don and I are our cameraman for Whiteman. We're going to walk around and enjoy the sights, the senses, and the smells of some incredible culture. So come with us.
Rest of that nice 45th and all the stitching and stuff. Yeah. We don't have it yet. We have everything online, and then we'll have it modified cover
All right, so we are here in the museum with a very special individual who can speak to what's unique inside for the summer. You're Haley, and what is your title here?
I'm very fortunate to be the curator here at Wellington County Museum and Archives.
And you have curated something special, and this is not just by happen chance. This has taken a bit of time to happen. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we're standing right now in an exhibition called Refuge Canada, which was actually created by the Canadian Museum of Immigration at Pier 21. So it's come to us all the way from Halifax.
Yep.
And we have been trying to borrow this exhibit for several years. This is an exhibit that has traveled literally coast to coast. It's been all across the country because it tells a national story. It talks about people coming to Canada as refugees and becoming part of the fabric of our society. It sort of starts it follows people coming following the end of the Second World War right up into present day. So there are a ton of stories. There's a lot of connection in this exhibit, and it's very, very important.
And of course, it just happens to follow in time for the Culture Festival, and there's a lot of amazing imagery, and there's a lot of profound imagery in here. For those that haven't gotten a chance to see it with their eyes, could you sort of speak to some of the things that they'll see as they walk through?
Sure. This exhibit is immersive in a way. It tries to put you into the shoes of someone who could become a refugee, because that's one of the big take-homes. Anyone could become a refugee. You can't control the circumstances around you. So you sort of begin the journey in the exhibit in a normal apartment. Literally, we have a living room set up, and then you sort of experience what might happen with a war, for example, and having to leave your home in a hurry. You go through the emotions of fear and uncertainty and anxiety and all that displacement, and you learn about how someone travels, and then we bring in hope and different perspectives and talk about the options available and the difficult journeys that people might take. And then if they do come to Canada, it moves into discussing some of the contributions that people have made to Canadian society. I mean, we have 2 governors general who came to this country as children, as refugees. And that's something that a lot of people don't necessarily know.
Right.
So the contributions that refugees make to the countries where they end up are unmistakable.
Right. That's a really interesting tidbit I didn't realize just looking around. And I was sort of struck by 3 really powerful images. First was, you touched on it briefly, but there's as you start, there's the door, and it says, it makes a note about the fear of the knock on the door. For some, cultures, that means some really frightening things. Moving on to the refugee tent was probably the second most powerful image that I saw personally, just reporting my own experiences, and then the fence post with the words from individuals that are, crying for help, essentially. So what do you hope people leave with experiencing this exhibit?
I hope that people can come to feel kinship with refugees. A lot of people if they haven't met a refugee personally, it's sort of a vague foreign concept. It's not until you have a face to put to the situation, it's difficult to relate to. So I hope that people will come to feel some connection with the plight of refugees and come to understand that it's more than just something happening to someone somewhere. It's a whole fabric that's woven into our whole country, and it's a very important subject.
And next we want to jump into the other exhibit that you have here, which is more local focus. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We've put up, so this is an exhibit that we've borrowed, but we've created our own in partnership with it called Destination Wellington, and that's where we're highlighting stories of several individuals who have come at different points in time to live in Wellington County, to put down roots. We're sort of thinking of it as newcomers to neighbors. These are people who all were at different points in time for very different reasons. Some have been refugees, some have just been migrants, immigrants, coming and putting down roots here for various reasons, and highlighting some of the businesses that they've established that you may not even realize, oh, that's my favorite restaurant. I didn't realize that was a newcomer who started that. So there's points of connection in that exhibit as well that's very local in focus.
That's amazing. And just as we walk over there, I'd love to see your perspective, but how did some of these stories come to be? How did you gather these stories?
Well, actually, in our economic development division here at the county, they ran a campaign a couple of years ago called Wellington Welcomes, and they were interviewing a number of people in the community, trying to put their stories out there and literally put a face to the names and the stories of Wellington County to show people, to sort of put those points of connection out there. Like, these are someone who you may recognize, and here's their story, just trying to put a face to it. So we used several of those individuals, gratefully, they agreed to be part of this exhibit as well. But we added a number of other stories, a lot of historical stories. We pulled out some artifacts from our collection, things that people brought with them when they immigrated to Wellington County, and so we pulled out the stories that go with those pieces, because we're a museum and people like to see things, and we have a lot in our collection that people have graciously donated to us over the years, and every object comes with a story. So it was nice to be able to sort of weave those two together, the more present stories and ones from the past.
That's amazing. Let's, if you don't mind, I'll follow you and let's take a look over in Destination Wellington. Before we head over, actually, could you tell us about this, the door?
Yeah, this is a difficult part of the exhibit for some, especially if you've come from another part of the world where a knock on the door isn't necessarily a nice, friendly face. This is what we're calling the fear door, and this is a reality for people in other parts of the world. You may get a knock on the door, and it might not be a friendly face. It could be the police, it could be a roundup, it could be someone with really bad news. There's militia coming into town, and you have to get out right now. It's a very triggering piece of this exhibit. It's not to be taken lightly. It's very, very serious. So we're inviting people, if they feel comfortable, to step into that situation, to open this door. And we have a large image here, which is from the Civil War in Lebanon, and it's incredibly powerful and very upsetting, obviously. This exhibit has some very serious subject matter in it.
Right. Yeah, thank you for showing us. Okay, so here we are in the refugee tent. Tell us a little bit about this.
So this represents half of a tent that you would find in a United Nations displaced persons camp, and you would have probably two families at least sharing a tent of this size. So, not a lot of privacy, not a lot of time to yourself, but life still has to go on. You've left your home, you're in a displaced persons camp, you don't know what's next, but visitors can spend some time in this tent. We have an image at the back, which is a young girl from Mali, and she was living in a displaced persons camp, and she's trying to do her schoolwork. She's still a student. She has the same experiences as the rest of us. Her circumstances have changed, and she's adapting the best she can. So it's a very strange experience to go inside this tent, and you have all these conflicting sort of situations that you're trying to reconcile, and it's life.
Right. It's very, very powerful. All right, would you mind telling us what we're looking at here?
So this is one of there's several stations in the exhibition where people can participate, give feedback, share their own thoughts and feelings. This is a station where the prompt is, who is a refugee? The concept of a refugee, the definition of that term has evolved over time. So you can learn about that here, you can share your own thoughts, and it's also a station where all throughout the exhibition there's opportunities to sort of have your perceptions challenged. There's true or false sort of myth-busting stations where a question is asked and you think about it and you find out the answer. So it's a big education piece all throughout the exhibition, but especially there's quite a lot going on right in this spot here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's head on over to the next exhibit then.
So we're here in Destination Wellington now, and this is one of our smaller galleries. If you finish Refuge Canada, you can come in here and you'll meet over 20 people. Some are historical people, sorry. We have a lot of stories in this room. Some of the people that we're sharing their stories, some of them have come here as refugees, others simply migrated at different points in time. You'll hear the reasons why they came to Canada, what brought them here, did they choose to come here, or were they just, this is where they had a sponsor to come, if that's the case. You'll see some of the artifacts that they brought with them, or some things that they used once they came here. Just actually behind you here, we have someone who opened a local restaurant, and we have something from his restaurant. So it's not something he brought to the community, but it's a piece from here in Elora, and we have visitors who come in and they say, oh, I used to go to that restaurant as a kid. You immediately gravitate to these stories as soon as you have that connection, and that's what we really want to invite people to experience.
Yeah, if you don't mind, take us to a couple other individuals.
Diving a little deeper into one of the stories here, this individual, La Ying, his story represents the fact that coming to Canada wasn't always easy. People weren't always welcomed at different points in time, and even today, one might argue. La Ying came to Canada in the early 1920s, and at this point in time, Canada was actively trying to discourage immigration from China. There was the Chinese Exclusion Act, a piece of legislation was enacted, and all Chinese individuals, even those who were born here, had to register. And at a certain point in time, additional migrants from China were prohibited. La Ying had come here and was sending money back home, saving money to bring his wife over. Because it was very, very expensive, there was a head tax that they had to pay. He was able to afford his own passage. He got here, he was working, his wife was prohibited from coming. By the time the law was overturned, his wife had died. She died during the Second World War in China, and she was never able to come to Canada. He was able to bring his 2 children over here, and as I mentioned, he started in the 1980s, in the big centennial or anniversary issue of the newspaper, it was highlighted as the second oldest family-run business in Elora. This is someone who came here and made an incredible contribution to a very close-knit community, but he was never able to bring his whole family, and that's very tragic. So here we have a story. Actually, this person, Ahmed, he did come here as a refugee. So he's from Syria originally, and as we know, the civil war in Syria was devastating. Some time in Turkey in a displacement camp before he was able to come to Canada. He had to be sponsored, and this is a fairly big misconception about a lot of refugees, that whether or not people actually want them. He was sponsored by a church and a community in Wellington County who very much wanted him and his family to come here. And so yes, he was fortunate. He was able to come. He lives in Harriston. He works as a tiler, and he's been very happy. His boss has been very welcoming. There was a lot of language issues, though a lot of people had to work through to get this family settled. but they did, and then they helped bring more family members over. And again, more contributions to the community, tighter roots, and it's just been a really nice story, and we're really happy to be able to highlight his story here. And so here we're sharing Olena's story. She and her family, actually, they were from the Ukraine, and when war broke out there, they had to flee. They fled to Poland, and they were there for about half a year until they were sponsored, and they've come to Canada. When they first arrived, they were actually living on their sponsor's farm just outside Fergus, which she's shared with us was a wonderful experience, which was really helpful after especially having to flee and the trauma of what she went through in the Ukraine, to have a nice, peaceful, welcoming spot for her family to sort of just reset was really wonderful. And she was able to begin pursuing one of her passions again, which is sewing. She does a lot of work. She creates new things out of old. She loves to upcycle, to recycle, and to express her creativity through her textiles. Which is really wonderful. She operates a sewing business here in Center Wellington, and so it's really lovely to have her story as part of this as well.
Thank you. And thank you so much for sharing a behind-the-scenes look at some of the stories. Some really powerful stuff. For those that have the opportunity, how long can they catch the display and the exhibits?
Refuge Canada is the last day is, I believe, September 14th. Please just check our website. It has to, unfortunately, move on to another site, but Destination Wellington will be up until the spring of 2026. So there's lots of time. And I want to say, in case there's anyone who participated in this, who's watching this, thank you very much to all the participants who helped make this Destination Wellington exhibit possible.
Everyone's watching, you know it's serious, we're getting closer, this isn't It's time for Africa.
That foundation has not moved since 1877. The framing has changed over the course of many years. Had cows and chickens and pigs and horses and a variety of other cattle throughout the place is a good part, right? So this image that you see here is around 1970.
Ніхто не знає.
All right, so we are here side stage with Clay. Clay, tell everybody, what is your title here at the festival?
So I helped coordinate the festival, and I was dealing with the performers and the overall coordination of the event here at the Multicultural Festival this year.
And we were chatting earlier with Inarada, who gave us sort of a big picture overview. We've got some new additions this year, but one of the showcases, of course, is the performers, which is the stage happening behind us. Can you talk to us about some of the performances that people are going to see here today?
Yeah, absolutely. We have performers from the Fergus Pipe Band. We see a little bit of the Scottish. We have representation from the Indians and Vellore and Guelph. It's really a wide range of all the cultures that are represented here in the county.
Yeah, we also got a chance to see a Ukrainian dance as well, which was early on. And as Don and I, Don the cameraman and I were walking through behind the scenes taking a look, we got to see a dragon's head backstage. What was that from, do you?
That was Guelph Jing Mo. That was the performance from them, which was a wonderful performance and very interactive with the crowd and everyone within the festival.
Yeah, it's certainly lots to see and experience here at the festival. What do you hope everyone takes away from their time here today?
I think if there's one thing that everyone can take away from coming to the festival here today, it would be to just embrace the culture that the county has to provide and all the diversity that it has to offer.
Yeah, there sure is lots and lots of smells. If only you, the viewers at home, could smell the amazing aromas. That's where we're headed next, to grab some good grub. What do you think, Don? Let's do it.
An old English tradition going back centuries.
Amazing. We are here in the blazing sun for the last few seconds before they get a moment to breathe. They have been performing all day. We are here with Jan and Kathy, who are members of the, what is the
Orange Peel Morris.
The Orange Peel Morris. And we've gotten a chance to see you all day. Tell us and our viewers, what is the genre of performing that you do?
Well, Morris dancing is village dancing from England, so we're representing English culture. But most of us, we're all from around here, obviously. Poor people, farmers, workers, used to perform during holidays and pass the hat. And they wore tatter coats like this, just from rags and tatters, as a disguise so that they could ask for money. And
yeah, and for the viewers at home who might not see, there's you all have also bells on. Oh, there you go, bells on the and
socks that don't match.
Yeah, and socks that don't match, and of course. The music is integrated heavily with the movement and the dance and stuff, so the bells really add an extra layer. How long have you been doing this?
20 years.
20 years, yeah, that's amazing.
15? Mark might know the answer.
30 years for me.
30 years for you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But Jan dances other styles of dance, of Morris dance. There's lots of others.
That's really amazing. And so how has the experience been here today at the 3rd annual festival?
I think it's one of the best festivals we've ever been at, and I've told the organizers I think it's just fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah.
So organized. Oh my gosh, it's wonderful. The facilities are wonderful. It's just wonderful property. Lots of different cultures. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. And so how often does your group practice? What does the practice throughout the year look like?
Thursday nights all through the year.
Thursday nights throughout
in Orangeville.
In Orangeville, because I've now seen you guys a couple times in Fergus, so you're certainly making a big name for yourself around the town. So, do you accept new people into your organization?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can tell after 30 years we're not as young as we used to be. So, yeah, we're always willing to teach, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Our most recent dancer has been with us for 1 year, and she danced most of the dances today. So,
And tell me a little bit about some of the instruments, including the ones that you both are holding with you.
Yeah, this is my fiddle, and I can just play the tunes on that, and I play along with the concertina and other instruments as well. We have great drum players and whistles.
pipe and tabor.
Yeah.
All sorts.
And one of the big features that at least we see throughout today is the sticks. Part of that's more of a dance feature than an instrument, but it's a percussion.
It is.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know.
And who choreographs all this?
Well, these dances come from England. We have designed some of our own, but largely these are traditional, like since the 70s or since Shakespeare was a Morris dancer. So, Morris goes way back. But we've been to England as a group 4 times, danced at festivals, and picked up dances from other Morris teams over there.
That's amazing. It's certainly very colorful. And so, if you don't mind, would you play us out, and we'll walk past Don, our cameraman here. Would you? I'll follow you last. Oh, they're selecting a tune. Do we do requests? Is this karaoke? I need sticks. Well, we certainly got a wonderful exploration today inside of a very hot and roasty Center Wellington County Museum to see the 3rd annual Multicultural Festival. From the sights, the sounds, the smells, this has been an amazing demonstration of the culture that makes our community exceptional. So we're so thankful to have had you with us on this year's 3rd annual Multicultural Festival. We'll see you in the next episode of This is CW.